Julie, we are so glad to have you this morning. Y'all stand and join us.
Impossible ever stopped you. Friday's disappointment, Sunday's empty too. Since when has impossible ever stopped you? This is the sound of dry bones rattling. This is the praise, make a dead man walk again. Open the grave, I'm coming out, I'm gonna live again. This is the sound of dry bones rattling. Pentecostal fire, stirring something new. You're not gonna run out of miracles anytime soon. Resurrection power runs in my veins too. I believe there's another miracle here in this room. This is the sound of dry bones rattling. Praise, make the dead man walk again. Open the grave, I'm coming out, I'm gonna live again. This is the sound of dry bones rattling.
So if God can take a valley of dry bones, bring them back to life as an army for him, what can he do with me and you when we're breathing? We got skin and bone. We got skin on our bones already. What can he do with us? Because he's able to deliver and he's able to do a whole lot more. Sing this next part out with us.
Is able to save and deliver and heal and restore anything that he wants to. Just ask the man who was thrown on the boat. the Lord. Live, live. Dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. Live, live. Dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. This is the sound of dry bones out of live. This is the praise, make a dead man walk again. Open the grave, I'm running out. I'm gonna live again. Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. This is the sound of dry bones rattling. There is changing all around us as heaven's glory makes an entrance. I feel it in my bones, I feel it on my skin. Heaven's closer than it's ever been. I feel the wall of anticipation. As we believe anything can happen. Do you believe that this morning? I feel it in my bones, I feel it on my skin. Heaven's closer than it's ever been. So let it rain. Let heaven fall, let heaven fall. We want it all. Let heaven fall, let heaven fall. We want it all. Your freedom, your joy, your mercy, your hope. We want it all. Let heaven fall, let heaven fall. We want it all. Every sorrow will drown in the joy of heaven. Every stronghold will break at the healer's presence. I feel it in my bones, I feel it on my skin. Heaven's closer than it's ever been. So let it rain. Let heaven fall, let heaven fall. We want it all. Let heaven fall, let heaven fall. We want it all. Your freedom, your joy, your mercy, your hope. We want it all. Let heaven fall, let heaven fall. We want it all. Sing this out. Till our lungs run out of breath, till our praises never end, till we're in over our heads. We want it all, we want it all. Till our lungs run out of breath, our praises never end, till we're in over our heads. We want it all, we want it all. Sing it out. Till our lungs run out of breath, our praises never end. We're in over our heads. We want it all. We want it all. Let heaven fall. Let heaven fall. We want it all. Let heaven fall. Let heaven fall. We want it all. Your freedom, your joy, your mercy, your love. We want it all. Let heaven fall. Let heaven fall. We want it all. Till our
Man, what's up, Church Online family? I am so glad that you are joining us again this week. Man, we know you could have been so many other places. Like, you're online. You could have gone to a million other websites, but you are here with us, and we are so grateful for that. And we want to get to know you. So please, like I've said, like we always say, fill out an online Connect card. Guys, you can click on Connect card at the top of your screen or in the live chat. Go ahead and just fill out that information, and I promise you, we are not going to do anything weird with it, okay? Like, we have the hassle-free guarantee. We are not going to sell your information. We are not going to email you a million times. We're not going to text you off the wall. We just want to write you a letter at the beginning of the week and say thank you. Thank you for joining us in our online community. It means the world to us. We're going to transition into a time of giving. Now, your generosity, it is unbelievable. One thing about Church with You that's always been unbelievable is how generous our people are. We have been able to do everything we do debt-free. Yes, we are 6 years old. We have zero debt, and that is because of your generosity. Now that's awesome and all, but what it allows us to do is serve our communities and serve our church members more and more because we don't have something hanging over our head, and that's a big deal, and we thank you for your generosity. Now, we're going to go ahead and jump into another song. Get up, stand up. Come on, let's get into this thing.
But think about this. Jesus knew what was coming. He knew what he was headed for. And there was a time when he prayed to God to say, Lord, take this from me. He didn't want to be in that moment to have to do what he had to do. But then he knew that there was a greater thing ahead that he was fighting for. He knew that you were worth fighting for. So he went and he won that battle for you on the cross. So you get up every morning, whatever way you feel, you claim the name of Jesus, you claim the blood of Jesus over you, and you say, not today, I have won the battle. We're going to sing this out, and I want you to mean it, and I want you to believe it, and I want you to accept it. You never lost a battle. You never lost a battle. You never lost a battle. You never will. You never lost a battle. You never lost a battle. You never lost a battle. You never will. Come on, feel it. You never lost a battle. You never lost a battle. You never lost a battle, and you never will. No, you won't. Give him a shout of praise this morning. Thank you guys so much. Y'all have a seat and check out church news.
So, first things first. All right, so what's up, church, with you? Got a little bit of laryngitis, but it's okay because I feel like Scott Cochran. Roll Tide, yeah! No, but guys, prayer time is awesome. I would encourage everyone to do that, especially if you come to the first service, because prayer time's at 8:30 every Sunday. And, I think, you got anyone from Tyler to Eric to AJ to Stephen. They're giving you some really encouraging words on top of Pastor Eric's message for the day. So if you're able to, please come to prayer time. Now, you 11 o'clockers, get your butt up and come to 8:30 prayer time service. Just because you get to connect with people and hang out in the foyer.
What?
Hang out in the foyer.
The foyer?
Yeah. What is it? Is it foyer?
It's a lobby. You can't call it a foyer.
Okay. Hang out in the lobby, not the foyer. So we have a huge date. That date is November 22nd. Cheyenne, tell them why that date is so important. No, I'm just joking. See, I came prepared. That date is so important, whether you like it or not. Ozark, last Sunday, is that day.
Nope.
What?
That's their first Sunday in the new building. This Sunday's their last Sunday.
Okay. All right, so what that means is from now until that Sunday, we need all hands on deck. If you can push a broom, we need you there. If you can, nail a nail with a hammer, we need you there. If you know the difference between a Phillips and a flathead, we need you there. All right, also, November 22nd, guys, we are having Bam Bam baptisms.
Bam.
So what that means to you is first service or second service, both locations, we are going to have baptisms. Baby child dedication. No, baby child dedication, November 6th, okay? That's going on both campuses.
December 6th.
Yeah, December 6th, y'all know what I mean. Sit back and relax and get ready for week 2 of, I try and do a good job of listening whenever my pastor is preaching. Making change.
This has nothing to do with the message, but how many of you saw the little kid sliding down in the family right there? It says he created a family budget, and then it says she thinks budgets are hot. Okay, those of you who are laughing, like the four of you, you watched it. The rest of you, you need to get on board, okay? We don't put these videos out for nothing. Get on board, pay attention, because she'll think that your budget that you plan is hot. There you go, right there. Hey, welcome to Church With You. If you're brand new with us, my name's Eric, and along with my wife, Cheyenne, we get the privilege of being the pastors here at Church With You. And we are one church that meets in multiple locations. We got our Enterprise campus, our Ozark campus, and our Church Online campus. So come on, wherever you're at, whatever campus you're at, welcome everybody to church this morning. Come on. I think it's stinking incredible how we're able to make a difference in a whole bunch of places all at one point. At one point, it was making a difference in Enterprise. Then it was multiple cities. Now it's multiple cities, states, and countries with Church Online, and I'm just grateful to be a part of it. If you're new here, if you didn't catch last week, we are in week 2 of a series we're calling Making Change, and I hope you're ready. You ready? Because today, curl your toes, get your fists ready. I don't know, but we're finna get after it today. But I want to give you the nutshell. If you missed last week, here's really the nugget for making change. Is there's two working parts to make this series work how we wanted it to. The first working part is we wanted to tell you a whole bunch of vision that's on deck for Church With You, like what's coming. We laid that out at the end of last year. We laid it out again last week. If you missed last week, things like we have a desire to plant 2 more physical locations, to launch 2 more physical locations by the year 2024. Come on, somebody. Like that. How many of you know we got a lot of work to do? We got some work to do. We got some things to accomplish before we get there. But, man, what a campus at Enterprise started and the life change that came of that. We saw that here. We saw that happen in Ozark, too, when we launched Ozark. Can you imagine seeing 2 more physical locations by the year 2024 and the impact that it can have on those cities? Come on, man. And you, from a little bitty small town Enterprise, can make a difference all the way around in multiple cities. So that's a part of the vision. We also told you some pretty exciting stuff when it comes to, if you're at our Enterprise campus, is we are in the process right now actively talking to a couple of people about a permanent home for us in our Enterprise campus. Come on, man. Isn't that incredible? So I don't have a ton of details to share with you right now. Here's what I can tell you is we lease this place. It ain't ours, and that runs up in a couple of years. So we got to get ready, and we're moving. When the details are available, we will tell you about them. But here's what I do know, what it's time for. It's time for you, and it's time for me to get to a place where we go, okay, let me be a part of it, because when it is time to jump, I want us to, as a church, be ready to jump whenever it's time to jump, right? So that is on deck. Those are a couple of the visions that are, we have way more vision than we have resources. Come on. And this is what this series is doing. It's showing you some of the vision, and we're going to talk about it a little bit by little bit every single week, and it's leading up to this date right here. Put it in your calendar, December 13th for our Thrive offering. This is the time of the year that we at Church With You, we don't do offerings all throughout the year. It's something break. We don't come to you and go, hey, this broke. If you want it fixed, you need to give. Right? We don't do all that. We steward it the best way that we can. And just to let you know, we've done everything we've done as a church so far, debt-free, everybody. Come on, we're going to steward it the best way that we can so that we don't have to come to you all the time with that. Your generosity is going to be stewarded in the best way possible so that we don't have to come back and go, you got to pass the buckets. We didn't get enough the first time. Right? We're not doing all of that. But this date at the end of the year, every single year, gives you, if you call Church With You home, an opportunity to go, hey, listen, I want to accelerate the vision. I want to move us forward faster, further, right now. Let me be a part of it, right? And this is what it does. It gives you that time. So we're going to tell you that day every single week because if you see me in the lobby and you go, hey, Pastor Eric, I want to get your thoughts on this, and you tell me what you want to get my thoughts on, you're not going to get my best answer. How many of you know that? Because you didn't give me time to think about it. You didn't give me time to prepare, right? You didn't give me time to plan either, and I don't like that, right? So I'm not going to say, hey, December 13th, oh, by the way, today we're taking up an offer. No. We're going to give it to you so you can plan, so that you can prepare, and so that you can ask God how you can be a part of it as well, all right? So that's the first side of it, and here's the verse, because when I'm thinking through trying to get us on board for like the end of the year giving, like how do I fire people up? How do I get us all together, all united, all understanding, like clarity is there. Everybody is clear. I found the verse, and here it is. King Solomon says it like this. He said, cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days. How many of you know that's clear and very understandable? Come on, if you know what that means, then you are way better than I am. I got a 17 on my ACT. I read this, and I thought it was about feeding ducks. Are you following me? Like throwing the bread. Like that's the first thought I had coming to my mind. Like, why do Solomon loved ducks, I guess. But the second thing that came to my mind is nobody likes soggy bread. Like nobody, ever. In the history of people, nobody likes soggy bread. So why would I want to cast my bread on the waters? But how many of you know there's more to that verse than feeding ducks? So I started researching it. I started figuring it out. So back in the day with Solomon, Israel has always been this part of the country, part of the world that whatever you plant, it grows. It doesn't matter. Like you throw seed in the ground, it grows. God blessed it in that way. I don't know why, but that's what he did, right? So back when Solomon was kind of creating the shipping enterprise, they started kind of experimenting with wheat. So they put wheat in the ground. It grew dramatically, and they started going, hey, everybody around us, there's multiple countries who are longing for this. So if we send this out on boats on the ocean, send it to other parts of the world, they can buy that. We can trade with them for the things that we need or the things that we want. So hence, cast your bread upon the waters. It meant put the wheat on the ships and send them out. And then it says you'll find it after many days. Then your ships will come back with things that you didn't have. There were things that you wanted, right? And they could come back. So that's what Solomon was saying. The shipping enterprise that he was creating, he says there's a little bit of risk and a little bit of reward, right? Because how many of you know when they put a whole bunch of wheat on a ship and it sailed across the ocean, there's a lot of things that could come upon that ship that could keep them from trading for what they actually wanted, like storms. Now, you get a big storm, it can sink a ship, you lost all your product. Pirates. Come on, they're out there. At some point, they'll take all your wheat and you won't have anything. Right? But Solomon knew something I think you and I need to know, especially when it comes down to the end of the year giving, is without some risk, you won't get the reward. And I'm telling you, this church and me and my heart, man, I want to see more people say yes to a relationship with Jesus. I want to see more addictions broken. I want to see more marriages healed. I want to see a marriage that's coming in, it's hitting rock bottom, but because of the relationships that they developed in this place, they stick together, they stick it out, because how many of you know it ain't always better to leave? Come on, let's stick together. I've been through it, you've been through it, we've done this, and then those relationships that they had would propel them to their marriage be restored. Come on, that's what I want to see. I want to see more people who've never been in church in 40, 50 years walk into a place and they go, I love this place. It has brought new love for the church. It has brought new love for Jesus into my life. I want to see more of that. But how many of you know to get that reward, it's going to take a little risk in the process. And when you talk about giving like that, it's risky. It's risky because I know what you're thinking. Well, I mean, if I give that, I don't know if I'm going to have enough. And if I don't really, because I think the same way. Just because I'm the pastor don't mean I think better than you. Right? I think the same way. Right? But Solomon reminds us, man, to get some reward, you got to have a little risk in the process. Right? So that's the church side of this series. Then there's a personal, individual side of this series. Because we can't be oblivious to the fact that there are more marriages blowing up right now over money problems than there have been ever before. Come on, that's the greatest fight that people are having to face right now. Especially in America, we got to fight our greed as well. Come on, we're struggling with it. If you're talking about it, we're going to talk about it. Right? So it's this whole personal side. And we're going to, the nugget that we kind of laid out to direct this whole vision when it came to the personal side is this nugget right here. It's thriving financially tomorrow starts by making change today. And we talked a little bit about this last week. We're kind of breaking it up into 4 different parts. So the first part is less is more. How many of you know less debt is better? 7 people at Enterprise. Okay, how many of you know more debt is always better for you? Okay, yeah, that's not true. Less is better. Less is better. I've never heard somebody say, you know what, my marriage was great. It was great when we were in debt up to our eyeballs, but now we got out of it and we don't have anybody. We don't owe anybody anything anymore, and now we got money fights more than we ever had before. I've never heard that. Have you heard that? I've never heard anybody say, you know what, I love looking at my credit card statement and seeing all the money that I'm wasting on the high-interest credit card. I've never heard anybody say that. But what I have heard and what you have said and what I've said at some season in our life is, man, I wish I could give more and make more of a difference, but I don't see a way to do it. Or I wish I could stay home with my kids and homeschool them or do whatever, spend more time with them, but financially, there's no way for us to do it. Those are the conversations that I hear. I don't hear anybody grateful and going, Jesus, I praise you for all the debt I'm in right now. I thank you for, I don't know, but I do hear a whole lot of people saying, I thank you for the freedom that I've experienced because I don't owe anybody anything anymore. Right? So at some point, thriving financially tomorrow starts by you making some change today. So less is more. Then here's the nugget we're going to hit today is financial stress is bad. Everybody say bad. Is bad. Financial stress is bad. You know why? Because it creeps into, check this out, if you're from the South, you're going to get it. If you're from the North, you probably are like, what is he talking about? Financial stress creeps into every nook and cranny of your life. It just does. It's everywhere. Financial stress overwhelms you, and it gets people to a place where they're like, I don't see a way out. Now, here's why I think that we're in that. Is because we don't have a full understanding of really money or what it looks like over long term. And I don't mean any disrespect over that. I'm not saying that you're not a smart person and I'm just saying that most people grew up in a household that they didn't talk about money. They didn't talk about how to manage it, how to steward it, or what's going to happen if you spend it versus what's going to happen if you save it. And then they grew up not hearing that from their family, and then they walked into school. And how many of you know there's very little schools across at least America that tell you how to deal with money? Right? And then you graduate high school and you get a job, you start getting a little money, or maybe you graduate high school, you go into college, guess what they don't tell you how to do in college? How to manage money. And what happens? What's the long-term effects over that? Then you get out, you get a job, you get some money, and then what you've done is you've learned the long-term effects about money the same way that almost everybody else in here has, and that is the hard way. Because how many of you, all of our locations, how many of you have bought something stupid before? Or you bought it in a stupid way? Right? It's just, oh, I want that swipe. Yes. Right? It's because we don't have an understanding of that. And then all of a sudden, because we didn't understand it, we find ourselves living in a reality, and we didn't know it was coming, but the Bible told us the whole time this is where we would be. Right? Look at this verse, Proverbs 22, verse 7. It says, the rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender. Just go ahead and tell you, if you owe somebody, then you're their slave. Now, I just want you to, that's heavy. That's heavy. But in the world we live in right now, all over social media, can you hear people fighting for freedom? My body, my choice. Don't take my guns away. Like from either side, it's freedom, 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 freedom. If we'll fight for all of that stuff, if we'll fight for freedom from all that, then why do we not fight for freedom in our finances? Come on, I believe that it has never been God's desire for his kid to be in bondage to money for the rest of their life. He says it's the thief that comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But I came so that you can have life and have it to the full. Right? So that you can experience life without the bondage of financial stress. Right? So at some point, we got to get to a place where we want that more than we want the stuff that we spend stuff on. And that happens with really one word, and that's right here. Self-control. Could have stayed home today. How many of you know every single one of us got a little 2-year-old, 3-year-old on the inside of us? All of us. If you've had kids before and they're that age, what do they do when they want something? And you don't want to give it to them. The same thing you and I do when we want to buy something and we ain't got the cash to get it. Well, I want it today, but I want it today. Like right now, I want just swipe it. Swipe it, we'll pay it off later. Come on, we get mad at them. We're like, you ain't the boss of this place. Come on, how many of you had those conversations with your kids? I have them all the time. All the time. You are not the boss. I don't care how much you think you are. You are not the boss of this house. But every single one of us has this 2 or 3-year-old toddler on the inside of us that's bossing us around, and we're losing self-control, and financial stress is coming because of it. Right? Every single one of us has that. So it's self-control. It's getting to a place where we go, hey, I want more later than what I want right now. It's getting to a place where we're willing to say no. See, here's what the Bible says happens to you when you don't have self-control. It says this. It says, like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control. You know what happens to a city whose walls are broken down? They're vulnerable to attacks. You know what happens when your walls are broken down and you have no self-control? You are vulnerable to marketing. You are. So I'm pick on the ladies because I ain't one. And that's easy to do. Okay? So ladies, you're vulnerable when you have no self-control to sales. And it happens all the time in every household. Did you see what I got? I did. But do you know how much money I saved getting? No, because how much money did you spend to get it? Right, but follow me for just a second. And I know this is, like, go with me. So ladies, you walk in, you see some earrings on sale, and you're like, oh, those are so cute. I like those. Let me just get them. They're like 50 cents. So you get the earrings, and then you see a bracelet, and you're like, oh, they match. That's awesome. I'm going to give that bracelet too. And then you start going, and you're like, but I don't have anything to wear with it. But I'm going to go to the clearance section because I'm frugal, right? So you go over, and then you buy yourself a new outfit, and then you have new earrings and a bracelet and a new outfit. But, oh, my gosh, I don't have any shoes to wear with it. So now I got to go to the clearance section to buy me some shoes. And let me tell you, ladies, you sink the ship little bit by little bit. And men, you're not like that. You sink it all at one time. All at one time. It is gone. It is under. Hey, I bought me a new boat. I bought me a boat, and all I had was cars, so I can't pull it with a car, so I bought a truck too. We're $100,000 in debt, but I got it. Come on, if you're going to go big, you go big, right? Just go big. Just don't worry about all that. A little bit of here, a little bit of there, a little bit. No, just boom. That's the problem when we have no self-control, is we're vulnerable to marketing. Right? We're vulnerable to what society tells us we should have and why we should have it. But let me just imagine for just a second. Just go with me. I don't know how impossible this looks or sounds to you, but just go with me. Imagine just for a second that you didn't owe anybody anything. Just imagine, just for a second, like you get to a place where you look at your budget and what went out, and you're trying to do the stuff, and all you have coming out of your account is like the water bill and the power bill and the internet and maybe a couple of kids' activities that you allow them to do, but you ain't got nothing else. Like, don't nobody own you at all. Can you imagine the freedom that comes with that? Can you imagine the freedom that when the AC breaks at your house, because we in South Alabama and it's going to be 90 degrees in December? Can you imagine that when the AC breaks that you don't have to run around and go, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? I got to sell a kid. I hear they're going for a lot on eBay. Because I ain't living in a house that ain't got AC, I'm getting rid of you. What if you didn't have to do that? What if you just went, man, I don't like that it broke, and I don't want to spend the money, but write the check. I ain't living in a house. We don't have to go rack up any debt. We just write the check and give it to them. What would that feel like? What would it be like if you didn't owe anybody anything and you got 2 weeks vacation? You know the problem that you would have then is deciding where to go. Whereas you're going, well, we can't go anywhere because we ain't got nothing. No, it's like you want to go to the beach, you want to go to the mountains. You want to go across the country, you want to stay home and chill. Like, what do you want to do? Like, we got options. What would it be like if you didn't owe anybody anything? But see, to get there tomorrow, you and I got to make a little bit of change today. And what I want to help us with is that self-control thing today. And I want to teach us something. If you don't get anything else out of today, here's what I want you to get. Is we're going to learn to say no for a little while so you can say yes for the rest of your life. Okay, I want to help us learn to say no for a little while so you can say yes for the rest of your life. So if you're a lady and you like to get your nails done once a week, come on, man, say no for a little while, once a month, so that at some point you can say yes for the rest of your life. And not only to your nails getting done every week, you can take your girlfriends with you and you can buy their nails too. Boom. Right, how about golf? Any golfers in the house? I love playing golf, man. I ain't getting good at it, but I like it. Right? But you go out and you like to golf once a month. How about you say no for a little while, I'm going to golf every 3 months. I'm going to golf every 6 months. Are you going to be any good at that rate? No, you're not. But at some point, you say no for a little while so you can say yes for the rest of your life. So when you're 60, you can have a score in the 70s. Right? But you can have some stuff to play where you want to. Or what would happen if we said no for a little while so that we could say yes for the rest of our life? What would it look like when that happens? See, here's the thing. I think we don't understand the full context of what money does and how it works for you or against you, so therefore we don't do it. We don't tame the 2-3-year-old inside of us and we just buy whatever we want to. I think the reason we buy whatever we want to is because we don't have an understanding of it. So I just want to put it to you in a word picture this morning so that we can have a little bit of an understanding of what that looks like. So I did a quick Google search. I didn't dive deep into it. Quick Google search this past week to figure out how much credit card debt the average American household is in. And you want to know that number? The average American household is in $16,000 worth of credit card debt. Okay, so just take that number. I'm not saying that's your number. Yours may be more. Yours may be smaller. I'm not saying that's yours. I'm saying the average. We're just going to take numbers for numbers' sake. Are you following me? All right, so take $16,000, right? If you owe $16,000 and you pay $250 a month at 17.99% interest, it's going to take you 18 years to pay that off. 18 years. The interest that you'll pay on that is about $37,000. And total, out of all your payments that you're going to make to Citi or MasterCard or Visa or whatever, is $53,000 for $16,000 of stuff that you don't even have anymore. Like some of your jaws hit the floor right then. If you're an average household, can I tell you, don't nobody want to be here? Nobody. Nobody sets out to be right there. Nobody does. And I know there's situations that come up, and I know sometimes you got to go into a little emergency fund and bring it out, but at some point you work to a place where you don't have to be here. You ain't got to be there. All right, so that's depressing. And I like to be a little life-giving, so we're not going to look at this any longer. We're going to put up the next situation. Are you following me? So let's just say that you don't have $16,000 in credit card, but you have $16,000 cash. Just imagine that for a second. How many of you would like that? Woo-woo. That's awesome. So we're giving it out to everybody who attended church today after service. I'm just kidding. How many of you know that's the church growth mentality right there? Let's just give away money. No, so if you took that $16,000 and you invested it, that's all you did. You didn't invest any more. You just invested that $16,000 at 8% return for 18 years. It would amount to $64,000. If you left it in for longer, let's say 30 years, you'd have $161,000. You see the difference of how your money can work for you and not against you? So now let's take another scenario. So say you still have $16,000, you invest that, but now you want to put something else to it. Right? You want to add something else to it. So you invest the $16,000 plus the $250 payment that you were making when you did have it, but now you don't. You got $16,000, you're going to invest it, adding $250 a month at 8% return for 18 years. That would amount to $180,000. You leave it in for 30 years, you're over $500,000. How many of you, we got to work on self-control? Because way too many of us all across America, for sure, are sitting in the situation where we're going to have to pay $53,000 for $16,000 of stuff, and not in a situation where we invested $16,000 and we got $500,000 sitting in the bank. Come on. I believe that God's desire for His kids is for us not to be a slave to lenders. His desire is for us to be free. He didn't give you resources and give you everything you have so that you could turn it around and give it to MasterCard. He gave it to you to bless you so that you could have some fun with it, but also so that you could bless some other people. And you can't do that when you owe $53,000 on $16,000 worth of stuff that you don't have. And I think we got a problem with self-control because we don't understand the long game when it comes to money. But you're not going to get there on your own. Because here's the deal. Proverbs 21, it says it this way. It says, the plans of the diligent lead to what? Profit. As surely as haste leads to poverty. And I think a whole bunch of us have been in this boat for way too long, when Jesus' desire for us is to be in profit. Not that you would have everything that you want. Not that you'd be rich, that you'd be top of the pyramid. No. So that you could understand that if Jesus gave his best for you, that at some point we got to make a decision in our lives to go, God, I'm giving you my best. And that means in the area of my money too. And I know it's going to be hard for me to work out of that. It's going to be hard for me to get through all the debt that I'm in right now, but I'm going to start today. It's going to start with self-control. I'm going to say no for a little while so I can say yes for the rest of my life. Maybe it does matter how we manage what we have. Maybe it does matter. Because in the Bible it says that if you're faithful with a little, you'll be given more. Maybe it does matter that you write a budget, whether or not she thinks it's hot or not. Maybe it does matter that you are faithful with the tithe and bring it back first. Hey, God, you gave me life, you gave me resources, you gave me money, I'm giving it back to you. Maybe it does matter. Maybe it does matter how you and I handle our resources. And I just think at some point we got to get to a place where we go, hey, I got to get myself under control. And I think this goes a little bit more deeper than just financially. I think this is a spiritual deal. Because until you get your spirit man right, you'll never get your real man thoughts right. And if your real man thoughts are not right, your actions will never be right. Some of us are doing things that we know are wrong, and it's not because we don't know how to change it. It's because we haven't said yes to the relationship with the one who can come in and change our life completely. Not just our financial picture, but our spiritual picture. You and I are in so much spiritual debt that Jesus came and he paid it all. And he gave you a way out. And today's the day that you go, not only do I get my financial self under control, I need to get my spirit self under control. And today's the day that I'm submitting to you. So either one of our locations today, you may be here and you're going, you know what, as I look at my life, I know for a fact that I've never said yes to a relationship with Jesus. I know that. Can I tell you, you'll never get every other area of your life under control until you get your spirit life under control. Until you surrender to the one who gave his life for you, you'll never get your finances under control. Your marriage will always be falling apart. You'll always yell at your kids. You won't have any purpose in your life. So if you're here and you've never said yes to him, today's the day that I want you to make that decision. Today's the day that you get your spirit self under control. Under the control of the person who died to save your life. So we're going to give you that opportunity. So as the band comes up, as the campus pastors come up at our locations, if you're here and you want to say yes to a relationship with Jesus with every head bowed, every eye closed, if you want to say yes to a relationship with Jesus today, we're just going to count to 3 and we just want you to lift your hand. We're not going to make you stand. We're not going to call you forward. We're not going to do any of that. Just at whatever location you're at, you have the opportunity to make the best decision you could ever make today. So I'm going to turn it over to our campus pastors. They're going to lead their campuses. And I'm going to lead you here. Because if you're here and you've never said yes to a relationship with Jesus, can I tell you this part we have to get right. In order for every other part of our life to make sense, we got to surrender today. So you ready to get your spirit self under the control of the one who gave us life for you? And if you are, here's what I'm asking you is on the count of 3, I just want you to lift your hand. Nobody's looking around, every head bowed, every eye closed. We're not going to call you up. This is from your heart to God right here in this moment. That you would make a decision today to surrender your spiritual self under the control of the one who paid your debt. The one who set you free to begin with. So right where you are. Right where you are on the count of 3. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Right now, just lift them up. Just say, yeah, that's me. Keep them up for just a second. Yeah, I see you right here. I see you. I see you there too. Yeah. You guys can put your hands down. I'm going to lead you in a prayer. The words of this prayer isn't what's important. What's important is how you mean this from your heart to God's right now. Just right there in your seat, under your breath, you can say, Jesus, I need you. Come into my life and forgive me. I surrender to you today. I surrender to the control of the one who died in my place. Separate my sin today as far as the east is from the west. Give me new life. I believe it, and I accept it, and I'll walk in it starting today. Can I tell you, if you prayed that prayer, if that was your hand, can I tell you today your life is brand spanking new. Come on, 11 o'clock. Can we celebrate the two hands that were in here? Celebrate online. Listen, we want you to take one more step, and this is not going to be hard for you. We want you to find a Connect card, whether it's right there in the seat in front of you, whether you stop at Next Steps and fill one out. We want you to drop it off at Next Steps. We want you to click the button on Church Online that says raise your hand. Somebody's going to talk to you there. They're going to touch base with you. We want to help you live the best life that you can on this new life that Jesus gave you. Come on, aren't you excited about that? It blows my mind. Here's the cool thing, and this has nothing to do with the message, and my clock's at 0. But at the end of the day, it blows my mind, number one, that salvation is given anyway. But it literally blows my mind that people walk into a relationship with Jesus when your whole message is on money. Can I tell you, when God starts working on your heart, He doesn't just work on your financial heart, He works on your spiritual heart as well. Come on, are you grateful for how God loves you and how He cares for you and how He's for you? He's not against you. He is behind you. He is ahead of you. He is pushing you forward. He has got your back. He wants the best for His kids. Let's do not live any longer in bondage, whether that's financial, whether it's spiritual, whether it's physical, whatever that is. We're walking away today in freedom in Jesus' name. Come on, stand to your feet, church. We're going to sing this out. We're going to believe it with everything that we got. We're going to make this declaration from our heart to His ears. If our lungs still have breath in them, we're going to praise You, because without You, we have nothing. Without You, we are nothing. Without You, we are dead. God, thank You for giving us life. God, we submit it to You. We surrender to You. God, take it right now. We'll always praise You no matter what your situation is. God, we give You the glory and the honor, and it's in Jesus' name. Amen.
My lungs run out of breath, and our praises never end. We're in over our heads. We want it all. We want it all. Till our lungs run out of breath, and our praises never end. We're in over our heads. We want it all. We want it all. Sing it out. Till our lungs run out of breath, and our praises never end. We're in over our heads. We want it all. We want it all. Let it rain. Let heaven fall. Let heaven fall. We want it all. Let heaven fall. Let heaven fall. We want it all. Your freedom, your joy, your mercy, your hope. We want it all. Let heaven fall. Let heaven fall. We want it all. Till our lungs run out of breath, and our praises never end. Till we're in over our heads. We want it all. We want it all. Till our lungs run out of breath, and our praises never end. Till we're in over our heads. We want it all. We want it all. So let it rain.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you have a wonderful week, and we hope to see you back next week.
All right, guys, man, that was an incredible message. Thank you, Pastor Eric. Thank you, everybody, for coming, joining us this Sunday. We'll see you again next Sunday. Have a great week.